Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, we're going to talk about how you can make your money work for you. The power of 72. We're going to talk about it, making that money, and welcome to Foci Optics. Check. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. Alright, welcome back. And as you can see, we're on the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page. And I want to thank you for being here. And please share the videos. We're trying to help thousands, if not millions of other people around the world, as they said in the boxing ring. Alright, now please notice the join button over here on the right hand side. That means you can become a member of the channel, where I leave special messages under this community tab specifically for members only. And we have members only chat on Wednesday night lives. Now, let's get into this. How you can make your money work for you and the power of 72. If you haven't heard about this, then this is one of the most important equations you need to know. Something they never mentioned in school, period. But before that, we have a PSA, public service announcement. You know, a lot of people are sitting around going, hey, I have my money in the safe deposit box. Well, you know, some people keep them at banks, but then they find out any court order, they can go and grab your contents in your safe deposit box. Well, now the feds are in Beverly Hills. They seized the safe deposit box place. It wasn't a bank, but it's one of those places that people keep their gold, silver, precious metals, cash, and anything else in there, weapons. They went in there with a warrant. Not for one box. They just said, well, since we have a warrant, we'll just take everything from every box. Sue us. And prove to us that the contents in there weren't from illegal gains. Ladies and gentlemen, this is in America. Beverly Hills. Snatching your government's taking your crap, taking your finances, taking whatever they want. And then through legal wrangling, gonna keep it. I'll have a link down below. So don't think that safety deposit boxes, whether they're in a bank or in another storefront that calls themselves a vault. Sorry, we don't live in a free country, ladies and gentlemen. Are you waking up yet? Maybe that'll get you to move. Now let's get on to the Power 72. In case you don't know, I'll just give you the simple Google translation. The rule of 72 is a simple way to determine how long an investment will take to double. That's it. Divide your interest rate or your rate of return into 72, and that'll tell you how many years it's going to take. All right? Now, in this simple example, if you're earning 2% per year, return of money or dividends or whatever, that means it's going to take 36 years for you to double your money. That doesn't seem so attractive, does it? Well, what if you knew that on average a home generally goes up 3% per year in most places? Well, you just divide the 3 by 72. That'll probably make us down to 24 years. So that also means that when you get an interest, a loan for a home, and the loan guy says 3%, now you know you're going to almost pay. Your house is going to be in 24 years almost double, which means you paid for it. Are you getting the picture yet? So, all I'm trying to say is we're about to get into it. And we're about to find out how you can get your number lower. And that means, simply means, if you're earning 10% per year, you divide 10 into 72, that's 7.2 years. All right? So 7 years, 2 months, let's call it. Every 7 years and 2 months, you're going to double your money. So that's why you want something that earns a higher yield. All right? That's what this is all about. So when the index funds are earning 12% per year, if they were able to maintain that, that means your money is doubling every 6 years. Now you know why people with money would dump their money into places that earn 10%, 12% per year, because they're not waiting around 20 years for their assets to appreciate. They're sitting there going, 5 years, my money doubles. So therefore, the more money you make, the more you can put into something that appreciates or is earning you 10%, 12% per year. So that gives you an idea how this is all going, ladies and gentlemen. The rich get richer because in a bull market, which is now for the last 12 years, index funds, which are almost, that's pretty safe as you can get. Kathy Wood's funds earning 20% per year, 25% per year, and the rich guy who has $150,000 in an ARC fund, hell, he didn't have to wait 5 years. All he had to do was wait 2 years and his money's doubled. He had $500,000 in the ARC invest. Now it's 1 point something million. Not even risking anything really. All right, we're in a bull run. Think about if that's the last 9 years, and she wasn't around. Kathy Woods wasn't around, and ARK Invest wasn't around. But think of index funds like a Vanguard that's earning 12 to 20% per year for the last 5 years. These people who only had, let's even call it 100,000, they now, even after 5 years, they've doubled their money twice. Do you understand what's going on here? Because 12 to 20% per year, that's going to happen. 3 years, double your money. If you're talking about 20 some percent. 5 years, they're on their way because now you're compounding the double amount. So they're almost there at doubling their money in 5 years. So now you see why a lot of money is being plowed, and that's how you make your money work for you. Now some of you may be already going, hey Eric, what kind of vehicles are we talking about? Well, I just mentioned it. Vanguard, for instance, has index funds. That is a part of a stock. You can buy it on Robinhood and Webull, and that's right. You can get links down below for the free stocks from Robinhood and Webull, and you can invest in Vanguard funds, for instance, like a VTI, VCR, VOO, for instance, ARK funds, ARK FinTech, ARKF. All right, you can do ARK Innovation. I can't remember the coding for all these. A new one's called ARK X, but that just came out, so there is no track record for that. All right, there's all kind of different ones that you can invest in, but go check a look and you'll find out what I'm talking about. Now, let's get into the power of 72, because once you understand the power of 72, like I've already mentioned, now you start figuring out, no wonder the rich keep their money in certain places. Because if I buy a house and it only goes up on average 3% per year in most locations, and it's going to take me 24 years to double or that to go up, meanwhile I'm paying for that when I could have kept my money somewhere else that is going to earn a higher rate of return, and shall I now enter Bitcoin? All right, crypto, because crypto is not doing 12%, 20% per year. If you know crypto's doing like 700% per year, or 100% per year, or 72% per year, you know you've doubled your money. right? So now you find out why crypto is a major thing. Now, notice this first line here, the rich is really getting richer. All right, this is from Federal Reserve. I'm going to show you guys something, because a lot of people are still confused as to what make engines move. Now, who owns stocks? Household net worth. This is household net worth. Pay attention. Top 1%ers, 51% of the people in the top 1% own stocks. The top 90 to 95%, that's 85. That out of the top 10%, that is 86.2% own stocks. That's in the household, right? That's a lot of people, 9 out of 10. But look what happens when you start going 50% to 99% of the net worth people. It goes to 12%, and that includes the top 10%, by the way. But look at the bottom 50%. Those people that make less than $40,000 per year. That's 50% of the population, roughly. All right? Now, that's after tax, by the way. Now, bottom 50%, 0.7. Are you not getting what's happening here? Now that's why the rich get richer. Because I'm going to show you, because of the power of 72, and they know that. Look what happens. This is Federal Reserve source. I'll have a link down below to this article so you guys can check it out for yourself. But now look. Top 1%ers household assets now. Remember, assets are those things that pay you. Right? So some people think a house is an asset because it goes up in value. But look what the top 1%ers, where they're putting their money. Look at number one, equities. That's stocks, ladies and gentlemen. That could be stocks, bonds. That could be people doing, doing options. That could be people doing anything that has to do with equities. That could be people in the index funds. That could be people doing any kind of funds, right? Stocks, bonds, funds. It could be a bunch of those, right? Here's the other assets. Other assets is just what I was talking about, where some people might not consider bonds an asset. They might not consider index fund assets, but I include that into the equities, for instance, all right? Notice number 3, private businesses. Are you not getting the playbook now? If you want to double money and enter into being a top 1%er, this is the playbook. Get your equities. Other assets are now going to also be considered crypto. Private businesses, which means you need to start your business so you have streams of income coming in. This is not a secret here at Stop Struggling Now. If you want to be an emerging millionaire, you got to be the CEO of your life. It's all been the full playbook the whole time. Private businesses is third. Look what number 4 is. Real estate. All right? Reason why number 4 is real estate is because real estate doesn't get you the same returns as your own business would. You can invest $1,000 in your business. You could have $1,000 per month coming in for a lifetime. That's better than buying real estate where I have to put in, I don't know, $50,000, $20,000, and then I got to worry about upkeep. So now private business, somebody else is running it. You're off on the yacht, you're off on the planes, you're off having a nice life, you have employees, or you have your internet business running itself. That's a lot better, because now set it and forget it into stocks. I go about my business. Set it and forget it going about the bonds and the index funds and the crypto, and let it do what it's going to do. No headaches whatsoever. Now real estate is 4th on their list. I wonder why. All right? Doesn't have the same amount of appreciation than other properties or other assets can have. Pensions, notice, is 5.9%. They don't have to rely on a pension. They have businesses over here. All right? Multiple business streams of income. You guys know we talked about this. We need 7 streams of income here. All right? Look at consumer durables. Talk about consumer durables. We're talking about these guys are investing in, farm, food, water, things of this nature is what I consider consumer durables. I'm investing in something everybody needs every day, every week, every month, right? So, and again, that alludes to equities, which is the stock market. We can buy into companies that water, Pepsi, Coke, which are top two beverage companies, right? But there's other water companies. You can invest in the farmland. You can invest in again, gold and silver, for instance. All right? Now, look at this. 50% of households' assets when you're in the bottom 50%. Look at this. Funny how it almost mirrors on the bad side. They're telling the bottom 50%, put down 10% on a house. Pay a mortgage for 15 years or 30 years. Give us 3% on your money. Knowing full well 2/3 of your overall payment at the end of 30 years is interest. All right? Meanwhile, you're tied into a loan. The extra money that you have to pay for extra care. And I'm going to get into real estate extra costs as well. So it's almost like I'm bashing real estate. But I'm not bashing real estate. I'm just saying you can see the numbers for yourselves. So when people are saying real estate, real estate, real estate, and that's what you should do while you're paying for the real estate, that's not what you should be doing. You should be having somebody else pay for that real estate, or you're having your private businesses pay for that real estate, the streams of income. All right? Look at this. Consumer durables. Of course the bottom 50% are worrying about consumer durables. They're paying for it. You're the one paying for the electricities and the food cost and everything of that nature. That's an asset according to them. I'm not down with the consumer durables. Other assets. Well, I don't know what these other assets are, but it might be, I don't know. Bottom 50% assets, 12%. Notice the pensions is number 4 on the list as well, because most people in the bottom 50 you're going to have a 30-year job that's going to give you a pension check. Most would not. All right? But there's for that reason, whereas the guys up here, they have assets, they have equities coming in, they have dividend money coming in, they have business money coming in, they have real estate rented out money coming in, so the pension is low. But this particular one, 10% of the asset is relying on pensions. Notice they don't get to below 10% until after real estate. All right? Equities, we know the bottom 50% don't put money into equities. If they told you when you were 8 years old, 5 years old, 10 years old, when you get a job, whenever you make money, throw it into equities, and by the time you're 25, you're going to have $1 million in today's money. Believe me, every 5-year-old, 8-year-old kid will be figuring out how they can use an app to throw in $2, $5, $10, $20, $100 every time they get some money. Because they'd be like, man, I know 10 years from now, 12 years from now, 15 years from now, I'll be set. And then I can do whatever I want. And you're telling me I can borrow against my own money? That's right. I can get margins. But wait, there's more. Now you can tell them, hey, you got crypto? Put your money over in Celsius Network and you can earn 12% per year on your crypto. Wait, what did you just say? I know the power of 72 because they taught me now. So wait a minute. 12 into 72 is 6? You mean to tell me any money I put in there at 10 years old, it's going to be doubled by the time I'm 16? Yes. Wait a minute. You're telling me anything I put in there between me being 10 years old and 16 years old, and then another 6 years from now, you're telling me that would be double? Yeah, when you're 22. Holy smokes. So you're telling me even if I had $5,000 in there, by the time I'm 16, that could be 10, and by the time I'm 22, that could be 20,000? That's right. And that's not even including if you added anything extra. So now you start thinking, and then you tell them, yeah, and when you need a house, how about you go down and see the Celsius guys, and they'll give you your down payment and charge you 1% for your down payment if you do want to buy a house. But we're not going to tell you to buy a house, kid. We're going to tell you to buy real estate, and you're going to rent it out, kid. Because now when you're getting return on investment by the renters, and they're giving you 12% or 15% per year. Now you just change the equation, because if you're getting, let's say, 15% per year, you'd put it in the power of 72. Wait a minute. You're saying in 4.5 years I double my money? I get back my money that I invested? Yes, that's what we're saying. Holy smokes. Where do I sign up for this program? Ladies and gentlemen, power of 72 in effect for you. Now, anybody else that wants to follow anything further, we're going to talk about something else, because compound interest has a play into this. Compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit. Or in other words, interest on interest, and this is how you make your money work for you. So a lot of you are sitting there going, Eric, I understand this right now. So in other words, when the guys have their money into equities, which are stocks, and we have a company like P as in Paul, S as in Sam, E as in Eric, C as in Charles for everybody on podcast, they give you 12% per year on money that you invested right now. Hopefully it lasts another 20 years, but now you know if they're giving you 12% on your money and you put in $10,000, you know you're getting $1,200 per year, right? You also know that you're gonna get it compounded, because now over the course of every month you have more money, you have a portion of that 12,000. So in other words, you're going to have $100, and now you're going to have $10,100. So now when they give you the next portion of the 12% annually, which is basically 1% per month, the next 1% is going to be based on 10,100, not 10,000 even. So now you're going to have even more interest coming in, which is compounded interest, which now means at the end of the year, I'm not just going to have 10,000, 11,200. I'm going to have more than 11,200 because it has been compounding every month. Now, crypto, Celsius Network down below. Get your deposit $400 or more of crypto, or deposit direct into Celsius Network, and send your crypto over there, such as, I'm trying to think, any stable coin earns 12.5% annually. All right, they don't move up. But the beauty of things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a whole bunch of other coins, not only in case there's a price increase, so you put in, I'll use the same $10,000 of crypto, and you bought it at $50,000 per coin, right? You bought a partial. Bitcoin goes up to 55,000. You now have went up 10% from the appreciation of the coin price, right? So now I have $11,000, and because Celsius Network pays you interest daily, Friday to Friday, and then on Monday they issue you your Friday to Friday interest. So now you're earning interest daily, it's compounding daily, and you get the appreciation of the coin. You could, in effect, earn more than the 6.2% interest they're giving you, because if it goes up 10%, you already are now earning money on 11,000 instead of only 10. So that means you're gaining more interest on interest, which means your money is working for you. And again, ultimately, you can double your money every time this thing goes up 30%. And you're earning 6%. Now you're at 36%. 2 years, you've doubled your money. Now you see the mad rush by the banks to run in here and try to figure out, whoa, wait a minute. We got to figure out what's going on, because what Celsius is doing, what Nexo's doing, what Voyager's trying to do, what BlockFi's trying to do, and others, they're like, wait, we're about to lose our customers, because people are about to double their money in 2 or 3 years instead of us giving them like 60 years to double their money, because we're not even giving them 1% on their money. Banks are about to be obsolete. So again, interest over interest means your money is working for you. This is the new era, the financial Change is happening now. Your financial independence is happening now. The transfer of wealth is happening now. You need to get on board. Hopefully you understand. If you don't understand, comment down below in the comment section and ask questions. Or you can send me a message at eric@stopstrugglingnow.com. And now we're going to the real estate and why, if you're in the bottom 50%, why you don't want to be in real estate and you don't want to buy it. But look, here it is, the hidden cost of owning a home that they don't even talk about. Property taxes. That's not included. So when somebody buys their house, I'm going to show you guys something real briefly and then we're going to end this. I get a mortgage. The average mortgage right now for a new home is $334,000. All right? Now, when you get a loan of about 3.9, in fact, why don't we go look at it? I'll show you what I'm talking about here. 350, interest rate 3.9. Total cost of mortgage ends up being $594,000. All right? You're roughly going to pay an extra, what is that, like 300? It's 250, right? So, excuse me, roughly another $250,000 in interest. Okay? I would like somebody else to pay for that if I can, instead of myself, because I don't get any return on money. This interest I'm paying, this extra $250,000 I'm paying. Not only that, now here's what's happening. I'm paying property taxes. So now that $250 is now, let's say, over 30 years is going to be another 10, 15, 20. Well, if you're in Cali, it's going to be like another 90 grand. But I'm just saying, homeowners insurance, $1,000 per month, $1,200. I mean, not per month, per year, $1,200 per year. You counting that? That's 30 grand more. The HVAC system, it's gonna break down. 10 to 15 years, it's coming down. And most people don't even do the annual maintenance, which is only 60, 70 bucks right now. So if you count all this in there, there goes another, like, if your AC goes out, that's 5 G's minimum. Your heater goes out, that's like another, well, you can get around maybe 3 to 5 G's as well. So in 30 years, that's going to happen. So you might as well add another 10 G's. The plumbing, that's going to happen. Mold, mildew, you got to upkeep for that as well. Bottom line, HOAs, if you have it's coming into play. A roof, the old school roofs, they last like 15 years, 16 years. Tile roofs last a little bit longer, but tiles break, roofs leak. Electrical system, always something. Termites, yeah, well, you got to have the upkeep for that as well. So all that cost, landscaping and lawn care, people seem to forget all this cost here that could add an additional $100,000 to $200,000 over the course of 30 years. All right? And people ignore it. Like, okay, so my house went up 100%. And you're still ignoring the fact that there was other expenses that contributed you to maintain that house. This is why the top 1%ers know the power of 72, and they're like, man, forget about the real estate. I'd rather just get this other stuff. And you might notice there are some real estate YouTubers who were big time all into real estate, who all of a sudden now, because they made money and their channels are huge now, all of a sudden, wait, we don't even want to talk about real estate. Of course not. Because it makes no sense when you're making $50,000, $20,000, $100,000 a month from your real estate or from your businesses to sit there and keep going to put down 25% on a house and then sit there and rent to people and then sit there and wait on what? ROI of 15% per year, 12% per year, maybe less, depending on what market you're in. If you're in California, of course, it might be less. If you're in some other low-income areas, you would be able to get 20% or 15, 20% on your thing, but the same rules apply. I have to maintain this property. I have to deal with tenants. I have to do all this stuff when I could just put it in a set it and forget it environment. So once again, I just want to show you the hidden costs and why the top 1%ers don't mess with it. All right? 52% of Americans own any stocks according to Gallup, and this is catered to real estate, of course. 10% of Americans own an average of $1 million in stocks. The top 10%ers, of course. Of course they do. Why? What are we talking about here? For the bottom half of families, it was just under 54,000. Exactly. You don't have the money, and your money's tied up into some real estate that everybody on the grant from the time you're 5 years old says, get a house, get a job, have that 2.2 kids, and have that picket fence. Meanwhile, all that money that you're paying towards a house you could have been putting in somewhere else. And granted, you would say, where do I have to live? Well, then you better live somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with not owning a house, and there's nothing wrong with owning a house. Either way, you have to live somewhere. So I can't say it's a bad thing either way, but you're going to need some extra streams of income, which is where the top 10 and top 1%ers, that's where it shines. They get these extra streams of income coming in, and then they pour it into vehicles that are going to give them doubling of their money potentially in 4 to 5 to 6 years or less. And that's what you should be doing, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll have this article down below as well, and that's all I'm going to be talking about today. Have your money work for you. Don't keep listening to all the people that are saying be static and say, hey, put your 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand down on real estate. You live in it, and then you pay the note. That's not the object. The object of the game is you want a return on your investment. And while you're paying the note on your investment, how is that a return? Each time you're paying the note, what's happening? You get a 3%, 4% annual appreciation on your real estate? Okay, if that's what you want, but just keep in mind, inflation is double digits. 10% a year, 12% a year, 15% per year. So if you're not going to be beating inflation, which real estate generally does not, then you're still going to have a problem ultimately. So now you know why the order for the top 10%ers, you see their pecking order. The top 1%ers is the same as 10%ers. You see their pecking order. Once again, equities, other assets, private businesses are the top 3. That's where you need to set your hat on, ladies and gentlemen. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And you know why it's hard out here? Because if you're in the bottom 50%, your whole mindset is different. You didn't grow up in a wealthy household who tells you, hey, buy stocks. Hey, start a business. Hey, get this LLC. This is how you get tax write-offs. Hey, don't work for somebody else. Create your own job if you want to do that and have tax write-offs and put your money into a 401k and tell your company to match the money that you're putting into your own 401k. Now you can put more money into your 401k, which goes into equities, which now means we get to make more money. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you on board? Let's do this. And with that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.